Johnny cakes? Man, listen. Every time I fry these up, it takes me straight back to the Virgin Islands. That golden brown outside, that soft and fluffy inside, boy, is pure island comfort. Today we're making Johnny cakes just like back home. Let's go. Ha ha! Now look, every time I make Johnny cakes, I feel like I'm right back home. And the best part, it's real easy to make and you can definitely do this at home. Alright, let's jump into the recipe. We're starting by sifting 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Sifting helps break up any clumps and gives you a lighter, smoother dough. To that, I'm adding 1¼ tablespoon of baking powder for rise, 1½ teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of cane sugar for a touch of sweetness and to balance everything out. Take your time and mix all the dry ingredients together. After that, add 1 tablespoon of softened unsalted butter and 1½ tablespoon of coconut oil. These fats are what gives the Johnny cake that tender inside and rich flavor. Work it in with your hands until the mix feels like damp sand. We want to make sure everything is mixed real good before we toss in the wet ingredients. Now for the wet ingredients. Combine 3/4 cup of evaporated milk, which brings a nice texture to our Johnny cake. Half a cup of water, which adds to the hydration, and a tablespoon of heavy cream, which add richness, flavor, and tenderness to our Johnny cake. Next, warm everything up and heat it up to about 95 to 100 degrees to help it blend smoothly with the dry ingredients. After hitting 95 degrees, pour in your wet ingredients slowly. We want to make sure our flour is well hydrated. So pour it in, mix, pour some more in, mix, and pour the last bit in. Once the flour is well hydrated, we're going to stop here. We're not going to knead at this point. Don't worry about the shagginess. Everything is going to come together in due time. Cover it with a damp paper towel and a clean towel on top. We're going to let everything rest for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I lightly flour my surface, then remove the dough from the bowl and flour that as well. I knead the dough just enough to bring everything together. And I'm being careful not to over knead it. Over kneading make your Johnny cake come out real tough. Once the dough comes together, I shape it into a ball and cut it in half. Then I cut each half into about 6 pieces. I take each piece, roll it into a ball in my hand, and flatten it with a rolling pin until it's about 1/2 inch thick. Just like this. Or you could try this method. Flour your surface and roll the entire dough out to about 1/2 inch thick. Then using a 3-inch dough cutter, I cut into a classic Johnny cake shape. Cut the dough into about 12 equal pieces. I usually use this technique if I'm making a big batch. Next, heat up the frying oil to about 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the oil reaches the temperature, start adding the dough pieces. But don't overcrowd the pot. If you add too many at once, the oil temperature drops and your Johnny cakes can absorb excess oil and turn out greasy instead of crispy. Plus, crowding makes it harder for them to cook evenly and puff up properly. While one side is cooking, I like to spoon hot oil over the top to help them puff up. Cook each Johnny cake until both sides are golden brown and crispy. Usually about 2 to 3 minutes per side, depending on how thick they are. Once they're done, let them drain off on a wire rack. And there you have it, crispy on the outside, soft and airy on the inside. Now that's a taste of the Virgin Islands right in your own kitchen. Boy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and always remember, where there's a will, there's a way. Peace.